Charlie Zelenoff versus Snoopy by Rich Baritone. This had to happen. Charlie Zelenoff, the greatest boxer of all time, in his mind. Snoopy, the most popular cartoon character in history, beloved by millions, if not billions, equally deluded, has never existed physically. Fictional boxer versus cartoon dog. We here at Ring Magazine made it happen. The pre-fight hype was intense. Charlie was manic, raving that he would, quote, beat the fuck out of that fucking beagle, motherfucker, end quote. He continued by threatening Snoopy's trainer, Charlie Brown, promising to, quote, beat that round-headed faggot to death, end quote. In response, Snoopy struck a boxer's stance, curving his nose to perfectly resemble Charlie's imposing beak. Snoopy then fell down laughing as his Cutman Woodstock flew about in erratic circles over him. Charlie prepared by massively increasing his intake of Colt 45 and stalking Lucy Van Pelt online. Snoopy prepared by eating, sleeping on top of his doghouse, and pretending to be a World War I flying ace dueling the Red Baron. The day of the fight was perfect. An animated sun shining down upon a ring set in a meadow before a low stone wall perfectly rendered in the style of Charles Schulz. The NPC children sit and stand upon the wall. The adults, present yet unseen, converse before the fight, filling the air with the sound of muted trombones. When it seemed the tension could build no more, the bell rang and Pigpen moved to the center of the ring, mic in hand to introduce the fight, piles of dust and lint in his wake. Snoopy emerges from his palatial doghouse, wearing a white silk robe with his image on the back, Charlie Brown and Woodstock by his side. He is greeted with loud cheers, muted trombones, and loud wheezing, as Pigpen's dust and mites have triggered a series of asthma attacks among the NPCs. Entering the ring, Snoopy again strikes the Zelenoff pose, this time punctuating the joke by shitting in a pile of dust he was standing over. Woodstock perched on the top rope, chirping obscenities. Charlie Brown, with a towel over his shoulder, looked from the ring down the aisle as Zelenoff was announced. Charlie Brown's eyes narrowed and a grin crossed his number 2 penciled rendered face. He couldn't wait to see this. Zelenoff starts down the aisle to the ring, screaming obscenity-laced word salad when the first rock hit him. Then another. Within seconds, many hundreds of rocks were now being thrown at Zelenoff, who was now running to the ring in fear for his life. Charlie Brown smiled, then began to laugh. 45 years, he thought to himself. 45 years of getting rocks for Halloween. There was a reason for it after all. Charlie Brown had been given the rocks by God himself to stone Charlie Zelenoff for claiming to be the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And was it good? Oh man, was it good. Zelenoff enters the ring a bloody mess from the stoning. He turns to the crowd and screams that he beat, quote, all you fucking faggots, end quote, and adds everyone in attendance to his win total. Dazed but determined, Charlie stumbles to the center of the ring to encounter Linus, wearing a referee's shirt and clutching his blanket, ready to officiate the fight. The fuck is this shit? Zelenoff demanded of Linus. I'm officiating the fight, Mr. Zelenoff. Fucking cockroach. With that, Zelenoff kicked Linus over the top rope into the crowd, his blanket streaming behind him. No cartoon theologist is ref in my fucking fights, motherfucker. Though Zelenoff didn't realize it, he had triggered Snoopy. Snoopy has for years dealt very publicly with delusions, ranging from World War I flying ace to aerobic dancer and beyond. He also once believed himself to be a mountain lion. Though that delusion had been dormant for years, Zelenoff's attack upon Snoopy's frenemy had awakened it with a violence never seen. Completely consumed by his psychosis, Snoopy struck. Without the bell ringing, Snoopy grabbed Zelenoff by the throat, instantly severing Charlie's jugular vein while breaking his spine. Snoopy drags Charlie's lifeless body to center ring, where he tears his midsection open and begins to eat his intestines. Woodstock, after shitting in Charlie's mouth, alights on Charlie's forehead and begins to peck at Charlie's vacant eyes. Linus reemerges from the crowd, blanket tied into a noose. As Linus placed the noose around Zelenoff's already snapped neck, Snoopy continued to gorge upon Charlie's entrails. At this point, the crowd was in a genuine frenzy, the children chanting, "Snoopy!" while the adults screamed what sounded like "When the Saints Go Marching In." But there was more. "To the kite-eating tree!" Charlie Brown screamed, and the crowd reacted as one, moving to the nearby tree and forming a circle to see the finish. Snoopy, blanket firmly clamped in his mouth, dragged Zelenoff towards the tree while Woodstock flew over Charlie, shitting on him repeatedly. After tying the other end of the blanket around a low branch, Charlie was pushed up into the boughs of the kite-eating tree, which ate Zelenoff, which proved he was a meat-eating tree, which made him a suspect in several recent disappearances. Before the investigation was complete, the kite-eating tree died of a rare Russian bacterial infection. A local arborist said, quote, "For a tree, it's like a combination of AIDS and jock itch." End quote. Charlie still won as Snoopy attacked before the bell rang. Mauled to death by a cartoon dog, still wins. The end.